dangerous when it creates a culture of delay. Just get going and keep moving. When you screw up, and you will, fix it. Make note of your mistakes and learn from them. You as a leader to be, must foster a culture of action that will allow your organization to prosper in a world of perpetual change. Don't get caught in the trap of putting out more effort in response to the stress of change. Using techniques and tools that worked for your predecessors just ain't gonna cut it anymore. Ask questions such as, is there an easier way? A more effective way? A safer way? A way to improve quality? A more accurate way to do that? A faster way? A way to recycle byproducts? Or a better way to satisfy the customer? Innovate. Bust out of your old routines. Be part of building a culture that believes in simplicity. Yes, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Out of change sometimes comes griping and complaining. And trust me, I've seen plenty of it. You as a leader are going to have to understand and watch for this. You'll have to keep your ear on the track of change. You, above all, need to understand that none of the negative thinking improves a darn thing. It saps the very energy needed that you are going to need to solve problems. Buckle down and help the people that you will lead channel thoughts and efforts along productive lines. You as a leader must redirect grief, anger, or worry into a passionate pursuit of results that will ultimately better the organization. As soon as the sonic boom of change begins to rattle the windows of the organization, people become preoccupied with fears and aggravations. As a leader, you must understand that what they say in the newspaper business is probably true. Bad news drives good news away. Work at motivating and satisfying those people that you lead. I quote, work from the heart and you heal the spirit. Put fire into your job habits and you burn off worry and anger. Rather than dwelling on negatives, you as a leader will need to attack problems with a can-do attitude. As a keeper of the faith, you contribute to a culture of hope, optimism, and great expectations. As a leader, you must recognize that an organization or company cannot rest on its laurels. Just as Tom Hanks says in the movie A League of Their Own, there's no crying in baseball. Well, there's no safety in the status quo either in businesses. Try to conduct business as usual or sticking with what success you've had in the past will plain get you killed in the future. The surest security for today and certainly for tomorrow will come from a willingness to take risks. Dave said that as well. You need guts to press the envelope. Unless you as leaders give employees permission and support to be pioneers, to explore if you will, to go forward without guarantees, the organization will invariably virtually lag bad behind the competition, and will ultimately die. Tomorrow's leaders will encourage individuals to put adventure into their approach of all jobs and tasks instead of handling their work in the same old ways. Encourage people to extend themselves. An organization where people won't stick their neck out is boring. It's sure not a winning organization and not one that I want to be a part of. When people are put under pressures associated with dealing with change, they usually turn back to the things that they do best, their strengths. It's human nature. But consider, what if you as a leader and the people that you ultimately will lead do best quits working well? Then what? Strengths have a bad habit of becoming weaknesses when circumstances change, but behaviors don't. Be prepared as a leader to force the abandonment of the organization's best moves. Move to what works. Remember, management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. In fact, I talk about that in project management. You don't have to do the right things perfectly to see the results. Oversee development in new directions, and above all, adapt, and adapt some more. Old-style leaders warn against change or push for taking it slow and easy so nothing gets disturbed or broken. For after all, they argue, change is destructive. Boy, can it really get messy. Don't rock the boat, baby. That causes confusion eventually. Well, such a culture with these old-style leaders gets the organization in big trouble. Even tradition and loyalty to it, and coming from Anheuser-Busch, I don't know about tradition, tend to hold the organization to its past. While one may respond, what's wrong with that? Understand that if a company is anchored to its past, its past may become a millstone that makes it tough to respond in the future. There is a grave danger in pledging allegiance to outdated traditions. As a leader, you must help eliminate bureaucratic practices and policies that get in the way of your organization or your company's progress. When tradition becomes an obstacle to progress, you must break it. You as a leader must help mold a culture that rewards people for making a little racket, disturbing the peace, if you will. And what about making mistakes? Well, leaders of organizations that don't tolerate failure have trouble developing new and required competencies for their organizations. Fear of mistakes locks learning out of people's work. Failure, on the other hand, is truly the best teacher. I personally have learned more from my mistake in sports, at work, and in my personal life than I ever did from my successes. Oh, successes are great, and they make life enjoyable, but I'll tell you, the real educator is in failures. Be careful. As a leader, this does not give you or your people free rein to get careless or reckless, or do stupid things. Remember, as John Wayne said in the movie Big Jake, your fault, my fault, anybody's fault won't make any difference. You'll be just as dead. Half-hearted and shoddy work will doom your organization. In this regard as well, as a leader, don't let your guard down on issues relating to ethics and integrity, or settle for lower quality work. Set higher standards for you and your people. Make no compromises in you or your organization's ethics or the caliber of your organization's output. Don't tolerate okay performance in yourself or anybody else. As I say, if it's worth doing, it is worth doing right. To flourish in a rapidly changing world, you actually need to make more mistakes. Fail quickly, control damage, fail often. If your organization does something that doesn't work, just recover quickly and then try something else. When we were children, we had no dread of the future. We even welcomed it. As kids, we handle change a lot better than we as adults do. Even though the future in general and change in particular were unpredictable, challenging and full of problems, we had fun with change when we were kids. We learned a lot faster than we do as adults. As leaders, we need to act like children once more, and I quote, create a culture that knows how to learn, and we can give the organization the keys to the kingdom. As the author Ashley Brilliant asks, why don't people get braver as they get older? Thank you, God bless, and congratulations all of you graduates.